The Day Maths Saved the Libaas. Accessible audio edition. The story is written by Yuna Nasfaan Shiham, aged 7, at LH Atoll School in the Maldives. Winner of the 2026 Young Mathematical Story Authors Competition's Kersti Worsley Award for students aged 4 to 7 years old. Front cover illustration description. A grandmother and a young girl sit together on a Maldivian beach. Both wear black headscarves and matching red traditional dresses. Along the golden hems of the dresses is a repeating pattern of a red square, a gold triangle, and a blue circle. Behind them are palm trees, blue sea, distant islands, and a bright cloud-filled sky. End of front cover illustration description. Page 1. Page illustration description. In a vivid pink sewing room, Grandma sits beside a traditional embroidery stand, stitching a decorative golden border. Nisha sits nearby, watching attentively. Shelves hold neatly folded fabrics and sewing materials, and palm trees can be seen through the windows. End of page illustration description. The day before Eid was very busy in Grandma's sewing room. Nisha sat still while Grandma stitched a beautiful libaas, a traditional Maldivian dress. "Is the kasabu ready, Grandma?" Nisha asked excitedly. Grandma smiled and pointed to the shiny golden border. "Almost, Nisha, but remember, a beautiful kasabu needs a perfect pattern that repeats again and again. In maths, this is called a repeating pattern." Page 2. Page illustration description. Nisha and Grandma sit together on a yellow mat at home, beside the embroidery stand. Nisha points to the shapes on the border, while Grandma holds the thread. The border shows a red square, then a gold triangle, then a blue circle, repeating in that order. End of page illustration description. Nisha looked carefully with her maths eyes. She noticed a red square, a gold triangle, and a blue circle. "I see it," Nisha exclaimed. The pattern repeats. First comes a square, then a triangle, and then a circle, Nisha said. "That means the pattern has 3 shapes in one group." Page 3. Page illustration description. The next morning, Nisha sits alone beside the embroidery. A grey crow flies away overhead, carrying a loose thread in its beak. A large gap has appeared in the patterned border, and Nisha looks worried. End of page illustration description. The next morning, a naughty crow flew into the sewing room. It tugged at the threads and left a big hole in the kasabu. "The pattern is broken," Nisha cried. "How will we fix it?" "Let's help Nisha to stitch it back. Look at the pattern Grandma made and draw the missing shape in the box. Red square, gold triangle, blue circle, red square, gold triangle, then a blank box." Nisha looked closely at the gap. A red square and gold triangle caught her eye. "Wait," she said suddenly. "The next shape must be a blue circle." Nisha leaned closer and counted the empty spaces left by the torn thread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our pattern has 3 shapes, so if I repeat the pattern twice, 3 plus 3 equals 6. Page 4. Page illustration description. Nisha now holds a needle and carefully stitches the missing shapes into the border, while Grandma watches proudly. End of page illustration description. "That means 2 full pattern groups will fill the gap perfectly," she explained. Nisha checked the pattern again, to be sure she hadn't made a mistake. Carefully, Nisha picked up the needle and stitched. Red square, gold triangle, blue circle. Red square, gold triangle, blue circle. Stitch by stitch, the gap disappeared, and the kasabu looked perfect again. When the sun shone on the golden border that evening, Nisha smiled proudly. "Grandma, maths saved our kasabu," she laughed. She realized that maths wasn't only in textbooks. Grandma said, "Maths helps us protect our traditions and teach others, just like learning in school helps communities grow." The end. Back cover. The blurb section. Nisha loves the shiny pattern kasabu on her new dress. But when a gap appears in the embroidery, Nisha must become a math detective. By counting the spaces and finding the repeating shapes, she learns the math and tradition go hand in hand. A colourful Maldivian tale about the magic of patterns. The About the Author section. Photograph description. Yuna, wearing her blue and white school uniform, smiles and holds the front cover of her mathematical story picture book beside the Maths Through Stories logo. End of photograph description. My name is Yuna Nasfaan Shiham, a 7-year-old student at LH Atoll School in the Maldives. I love the beautiful kasabu shapes created by using a traditional Maldivian embroidery technique on our traditional dresses. This inspired me to write my own story. Before this, I didn't know about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG. While creating this mathematical story picture book, I also learned about SDG 11, which tells us to protect our cultural heritage. My story shows that maths can help us save our traditions. Creating this mathematical story picture book taught me that math isn't just inside a school textbook. It is actually everywhere, even on our clothes and in our culture. Now I love math even more. I think maths teachers everywhere should let kids create their own mathematical story picture books, as it makes learning about maths so much fun and helps kids see the magic of maths in the real world.